Alright guys, well I'm back today with one of the absolute coolest Ruger revolvers I've ever had out to the channel, the Ruger REDHAWK chambered in .357 Magnum. A massive snub nose revolver with an 8-round cylinder, a decent set of sights, and an overall built like a tank fit and finish. This thing is just freaking awesome. Ever since I discovered that this existed, it has been on the list to get to the channel, and Ruger was nice enough to send this out. I don't have to send it back, so a huge shout out to these guys for making this video possible. I've already fallen in love with it and put way too many rounds through it down at the range just because it is a blast to shoot, literally and figuratively. Before we get into the full review, I'm going to give a huge shout out to AAC for the support. These guys are always helping out the channel, and we ran a lot of the .357 158 grain XTPs through this, and it functioned great. We're going to talk about more about the reliability and accuracy of the Ruger revolver, but just know a lot of the rounds downrange came from AAC. Thanks to these guys for always helping out and always supporting. They're really expanding their lineup. Now, one of the first things I want to mention about the Ruger REDHAWK is they are overbuilt. They are well built and they are heavy. This is not that .357 you pick up to throw in your jacket pocket to go into the woods hiking or to the flea market or just kind of piddling around. This thing is a beast, and it would be very difficult to carry like inside the waistband or even an outside the waistband holster. This is more of like a chest rig or shoulder holster gun, or a nightstand gun or a personal defense gun that where you're going to keep stashed away in a safe or in a drawer or in a closet. Something like this is definitely heavy, but the heaviness makes it so much fun and so cool. Now, for me personally, I love 8-shot .357 Magnum snub noses. I am developing a collection, and again, as soon as I discovered this existed, I knew I had to get one out. And inside the box, it comes with the box, a gun lock, the gun itself, and some moon clips if you wanted to do quick tactical speed reloads. But for me, it's something fun about just hand loading each round and taking shots at the target. This definitely can have a few different places in a personal collection, and for me it's going to fill mainly a couple of roles. One, it's cool. It's absolutely awesome to pick a classic Ruger up in your hands, feel the weight of this .357, and know you have 8 shots in the cylinder. The next role that it's going to fill is it's definitely a good personal defense, close-up, get-off-me gun. Revolvers in general are great for that role, especially 8 shots at .357 Magnum with this barrel length. It's got a long enough barrel to really pack a punch up close, but short enough to be very maneuverable and very easy to use up close. You can drive the barrel into the revolver into your target, like physically into your target, and it will not affect the function of the gun, which is something that revolvers do that a lot of semi-autos can't accomplish. So having that capacity with the 8-shot capacity all in one package, it's a no-brainer for close-up personal defense. And with 8 shots at .357, I definitely don't feel undergunned. On the top of the gun itself, you do have a really nice high-vis orange sight and adjustable rear sights. They're very easy to pick up, very easy to use, and I shot this at about 25 to 30 yards, even stretched it out a little bit further, and this thing was a tack driver with every type of ammo I put through it. Whether it was 38 Special or .357 Magnum, it was just very accurate. So you're not going to get that intermittent accuracy that you would get from other snub noses with cut-down sights or, defensive-only snub nose revolvers. This is definitely going to be a hybrid between a snub nose-ish style revolver with a full-size revolver, and it does really good job when it comes to accuracy, so you're not going to be lacking in that department. Now, Ruger uses the push-button latch, very convenient, very easy to use, nothing sticks, it doesn't bind up, and it's very easy to kick out that cylinder, knock out the spent shell casings, and load up the next 8 rounds. And again, it is cut for moon clips, so if you wanted to have a few of these in your jacket pocket to throw them in if you needed to reload, this would be really good. Now, we talked about the weight and the build quality. The fit and finish is spectacular on this Ruger revolver. It just is impeccable. Everything about it screams quality, and it's evident from the grip to the cylinder to the hammer to the trigger. Now, we will talk about the hammer and trigger in a second, but I do want to focus on that build quality and kind of translate that to the weight as well. This is going to be a heavy gun, so it will absorb the recoil of the heavier .357 Magnum cartridge. Now, if you are getting this gun just to have a freaking awesome 8-shot .357 in your collection and you don't plan on using it for actual personal defense, leave the wood grips on. it is so cool looking. If you're going to be taking some Instagram shots or just having it as a fun collectible range piece, the weight of the revolver absorbs most of the 357 Magnum recoil, so you don't have to worry about that backstrap being exposed or the wood grips on your hand being too stout. Like, I ran a lot of 357, and I don't feel like this was that big of a deal to have the wood grips. Now, if you are going to be primarily using this for a personal defense gun, I would swap out these wood grips for something like REDHAWK rubberized grips because of the texture and the comfort. You can really get a better grip on the gun. It's not quite as slick if your hands get wet, but with the wood ones, they do a pretty decent job. As you can see here, you get a full grip on the gun. It's actually very easy to control the recoil, and there's no hot spots on this when you're firing into wood. I do have REDHAWK grips on order though, because I just like the way the REDHAWK grips look and feel as well, but I'm going to keep the wood grips, again, for some of those cool Instagram photos and just to put back if I decide to kind of clean it up and let it sit for a while. When I pull it out, it's just nice to see those beautiful wood grips on this revolver. Now, in summary, usability, practicality, and functionality, it ran great. It ran phenomenally. No issues with the cylinder jamming, no issues with timing, no issues with ammo binding up, no issues with accuracy. It just ran. You pull the trigger, it fired. And speaking of the trigger, we'll make sure it's clear for the 1000th time. The trigger on this is pretty decent. It's a heavier double action trigger. You can stage it right at about here, then you can pull through. So overall, pretty nice. Now the single action trigger, phenomenal. No take up, very crisp break, but I wouldn't consider this like a hair trigger or a super light single stage trigger. Like, I feel very confident that I can throw my finger in the trigger guard and tap this trigger and the gun will not go off. You have to deliberately pull that trigger. I don't worry about that at all, like accidentally pulling this trigger, which I really like about the Ruger SP101s or GP100s or the Ruger REDHAWKs. Their triggers are good, but they're not overly light to where you have to worry about them. They're definitely a combat style or defensive style trigger, so even if you do take that shot in single action mode, you can put your finger on the trigger with confidence, knowing it's not going to accidentally go off, and then till you deliberately pull that trigger, which makes it, again, a great option for personal defense and a wide variety of applications. I absolutely love this gun. There's really no complaints. The only thing I would improve would maybe the comfort of the grips, but that is really resolved very easily with aftermarket REDHAWK grips, which I plan on buying and swapping back and forth depending on the mood and what I feel like shooting this gun. I hope you liked the video. Hope it gives you some more information about the Ruger REDHAWK chambered in 357 Magnum. Now, I know the Ruger REDHAWKs are chambered in a wide variety of calibers, but something about the 357 having the ability to get readily available 357 as well as 38s to just plink, it's just cool. It's my personal choice. Let me know what you would get your Ruger REDHAWK in if you were to grab one. I'd love to hear your thoughts about your caliber selection on this particular revolver. Thanks for watching. Thanks to AAC. And again, thanks to Ruger for making this dream come true and getting this out to the channel for us to test and evaluate. And you'll be seeing a lot more of it, again, because I don't have to send this one back. Have a good one.